Let's begin with police matters. A rejuvenated and reformed police force is unfolding before us, and we cannot but urge the authorities to sustain the tempo. The Inspector General of Police, Usman Alkali Baba, has commended 3 officers for extremely exemplary conduct. One of them is Superintendent of Police, Daniel Itse Amah, the Divisional Police Officer in charge of Nasarawa Division in Kano State, who exhibited sound professionalism and integrity by rejecting $200,000 bribe. That's $20,000 bribe, which led to the arrest of an armed robbery syndicate. That amount is $20,000, not $200,000. Now, Jide, this is rare. If you check out for those of us that will travel frequently, anytime we think about foreign exchange, we look at it in exchange to Naira. $20,000 is something that is in millions.
If you were to use 600 Naira as the exchange rate, of course, this morning it was 670 to a dollar. So if we even use 600, that's 120,000 Naira. 120 million.
No. No, it's not
12 million.
12 million.
12 million.
12 million.
Yes.
12 million. So
for a divisional police officer.
yes, somebody who probably even maybe a station, they don't give him money for fuel regularly,
impress.
doesn't get his impress regularly. If he can come up, if he can reject this kind of money, it shows that as much as there are so many bad eggs in the police, there are decent people in the police as well. There was another constable, Nora Maude, attached to the Katsina Police Command, who found $800 in an envelope belonging to a pilgrim, and he returned it. So in this case, there was a robbery that happened. He bust the armed robbery gang, and the leader of the robbery gang, named Ali Zaki, then offered him $20,000 to not escalate the matter. But he collected the money and then notified the Commissioner of Police, and the money was used as exhibit against these guys who are transferred to force headquarters in Abuja, and their trial has begun. So it's not in all cases that it's not rare. It's not common to find policemen demonstrate.
In some cases, you can use 200,000 Naira, 300,000 Naira to stop a very crucial case like that.
Yes, a big case. You even kill it permanently, But
not talk of 12 million Naira.
We have said it in the past that it's not everyone in the police who is corrupt. There are still some good people in the police. There are some people in the police who would rather die than take a bribe from you. A friend of mine in the US was saying that he has never seen a Nigerian policeman who is not corrupt. And I said, look, we've been talking about Fimeho Adeoye, who rose to become an AIG Federal SAS. He's not known to have collected a single bribe from anybody. Even his colleagues will readily testify to that. And you can't offer a woman to him as a bribe, because sometimes women can also be used as a bait. But you can't do that to him. So every profession has bad eggs. I'm happy the police are kicking out the bad eggs from their ranks. They just arrested another set who took, just some days back, who took people, who arrested people and then used the POS machine to extort money from them.
That's
policemen
ridiculous.
Going around with POS machine. But these ones, at least, they are giving the police a good name.
Mayor.
Yeah, let me say I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed because when you look at the state of things now, there is tendency for an average worker to be tempted to collect bribe. Because,
the hunger
in the land, the difficult economic situation, and all that. And for a case like that, was under his purview, it's easy for him to kill the case if he had wanted to. So to reject a bribe that is over 12 million naira is very commendable. What that shows is that we must not give up on the Nigerian police. Though the Nigerian police have always proved themselves to be capable when they want to, especially when they travel outside this country. They've always excelled and in some cases win awards. But the situation, because every country gets the leadership of the police that they deserve, because we run a very corrupt society, we have influenced our law enforcement agencies negatively. So people like this DPO has been able to show us that we should have hope and not give up on the Nigerian police, and it's something very commendable. And
in the midst of this, when you look at it, it's not something that is common. It's not something you find, but there's just be some people that will be determined. In this Nigerian police, I've seen people that they are pastors. They're not interested in you posting them to checkpoints. I used to have a friend. He doesn't like being posted to checkpoints. He wants to always lead the fellowship within the barracks. He wants to be in the office to do administrative job, and is satisfied with his salary.
At least that way, the temptation is not there to extort money from people. The over exposure of the police even to the civil populace can lead to indiscipline and all kinds of bad behavior. This officer, the PPRO in Kano just sent some information to me about this officer. The total money that was robbed, that he recovered from the gang that he busted, was 322,500,000. No, 322,500,000.
But that's
million.
Yes, that's what they sent to me. 276,313,000 recovered by the DPO in both dollar and naira.
so out of the money, they now offered him the bribe of 20,000.
Yes, he recovered the money in both naira
and dollars.
So they have now offered him 20,000. So
Yeah, it's very good that the Inspector General of Police, commended the guy. What I will also advise is that he should be promoted.
Yes.
Because one of the things where it is important to reward excellence anytime you see officers that have lived above board. So it's important that the commendation should not just be commendation only from the IG. It should also be promoted. Because if the money involved is as much as 300 million naira, almost 300 million naira, that's a huge case. It shows that guy is a special officer. Like I said, things are so difficult in Nigeria that it takes a lot of effort for anybody not to be so tempted. It takes a lot of effort for somebody not to be so tempted. And even my respect for the officer has increased based on this information that we have just received. Because if you bust a gang, that if it shows that the operation was a very big operation, even his life will have been endangered because the money involved is a lot of money.
So this is the officer.
Yeah.
We've seen officers in the past, apart from busting this thing, they will bust the gang, they will do everything, but the proceeds, they will tamper with the proceeds.
In fact, they will confiscate it for themselves. Yes.
They will claim the proceeds, and they will kill the people involved. Anything that will stand in their way with the evidence.
Was it not in this country that some Hausa men went to do business? They are cattle sellers. On their way back in Kogi State, some policemen attacked them. You can imagine policemen attacking travelers because they knew that they had cash on them. They attacked them, killed them, and set them ablaze. But unfortunately for them, there was one of those traders ran into the bush, so they didn't know. It was that one that now lodged the report. They didn't just kill them, they set them ablaze so that it would look like the vehicle caught fire. It was the former Chief Judge of Kogi State, Justice Umaru Eri, that handled that matter and he sentenced them to death. In fact, they tried their matter quickly. Policemen. We were discussing yesterday about a policeman who tore a page where the indictment of Captain Balarabe was written.
Yes.
That Captain Balarabe, guilty of terrorist act, along with other people, in killing those IRT people. That portion where the officer who led the operation, where he wrote it, he tore it. So as we had bad eggs in the police, we have good ones. And there are still many good ones. But we need to reward them, because people will mock them that, look, despite all your honesty, you are broke. You see, you don't have money.
As we are celebrating this person,
we should reward them, yes.
Okay, I have Phillips calling us from the United Kingdom. Thank you for joining us.
Reward them, because people will mock them that, look.
Phillips,
Hello?
just step away from your monitor or turn down the volume of your TV set. Okay, Phillips, are you there?
Yes. Reward. Hello?
Yes, Phillips.
Hello?
Go ahead.
You're on air. Just listening to himself.
Okay, he's listening to himself. So we said celebrate them like this.
Yes,
and
it's
make that
important for
reward
you
a
to,
constant thing.
Yes, for you to celebrate
Promotion
and reward.
should be rewarded,
yes, promotions and things like that.
And if
you know,
possible,
giving higher
a presidential
responsibilities, because what the guy has done is very unusual. Like I said, especially at these times when things are really difficult for people.
Yes.
You know, things are really difficult for Nigerians. We have to accept that. And there is tendency for you to have that temptation. I'm even sure that some of his friends will still mock him to say, you mean you recover over almost 300 million naira?
No, they'll still mock him.
And you just left it like that, you know, because it's unusual. Nigerians don't, like I said, the society is so corrupt that everybody justifies an action like that. They would have just looked at it that it is PR, I didn't ask for it, they just gave it to me and all that, you know. And he tried to now make the case good for them. So I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed because it's unusual for Nigerian police. There are a lot of bad eggs. A lot of bad eggs have messed up the image of the Nigerian police. But like for every case, there's always exceptional cases, and this is one of the good stories of Nigeria.
Jimmy, why we have extremely dirty policemen, we have honest ones. We have ones that their colleagues even refer to as too much money, as in, you know, within the police force, they are so rich.
You have fleet
It's a
of cars.
policeman. What's the source
Because
of the
they're
wealth? How
involved
can
in
a
crime.
policeman be so rich? How?
And some of them who are rich, they are not even of the officer cadre. But the sort of dirty things that they do made them rich. Some of them from the IRT team. There were many reports that we had that they will bust someone. They will now be harassing members of the family of that person to pay them money. Sometimes they will even take control of the accounts, bank accounts of suspects, and be taking money off the bank account. There are so many reports have come out. You'll be torturing people to release money. You collect their BVN and other details that you need, and then be siphoning money from the account of a suspect. And you're in this Lagos, when I was editor of PM News, there was a policeman in the Agege area who detained, a senior policeman who detained a suspect. The woman, the wife of the suspect, then came to plead that the husband should be released. He used the opportunity to sleep with the woman right there in his office. He didn't even bother to lock the door. It was a junior officer who opened the door, and found them on top of the wife of a suspect. Yes, this is not fiction. It happened somewhere in Agege. So how do the guy now? He was rude to his boss. Like, how can you do this? You are sleeping with the wife of a suspect. Why are you like this? Why did you do this?
And the wife of the suspect too is so loose.
Do you know the kind of threats?
Pressure.
The pressure.
Solomon from Oshogo, thank you for joining us.
Hello, sir.
Right here and there.
I'm with you.
Solomon, please go ahead. Oh.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I'm calling from Oshogo.
Okay.
Precisely, I'm calling from Okefia, Oshogo.
Okay, Fia.
Okefia, Oshogo.
Okay.
Actually, the topic you are discussing concerns the recovery and the rejections of bribe. A police officer is a welcome idea, most especially at this period where all Nigerians are watching. The money is too big, $20,000, but the exemplary performances or exhibited by the policeman is acknowledged, and I appreciate the Inspector General of Police for recognizing or for recognition. That is what let me say, for recognition of exemplary award. But it has to be coupled with others' benefits.
Okay, thank you, Solomon.
I will suggest in the House that you need to be promoted too.
Yeah. We said so earlier. Thank you. We said so earlier. So, gentlemen, it should be a constant thing. It will no longer be news if you say a policeman is collecting bribe. But if you see a policeman that rejects $20,000, that will make headline news in Nigeria.
Yeah, so when the IG comments like that, it should also be rewarded.
Rewarded by promotion.
Like yes.
I'm happy that it's even happening now at a time when they are chasing out those bad eggs.
Yes.
They should reward the good ones.
Yes,
And,
dropping them.
somebody was harassing the IG and telling the IGs to stop sacking policemen. It's the same society that will say the police has been harboring armed robbers in uniform and other dregs.
Yeah.
You are now saying that, look, why is he sacking people?
Making a public show.
So must they keep?
putting them.
So if there is an animal in police uniform who is trigger happy to kill people, look at that one that used cutlass to beat people. So somebody will sit somewhere and say absolute rubbish that they should not be they should not be dismissing them. They should keep them until we have another SARS riot. No, I mean the IG is doing the right thing by sending them back.
I agree, the IG is doing the right thing, because if there are no consequences for actions, people will do worse.